Good evening. Hi, everybody from Taos, New Mexico. Holy bejeez balls. So I set up this deadline for myself today. I'm gonna wait. Oh, good. Anna Cummings, welcome, sweetie. Let me grab something real quick. Hopefully you're not looking at something too crazy dirty. Hi, everybody. I set myself up for a little bit of failure today. I gave myself way too much to do, set myself up for a deadline, and was like trying to make it happen, and then worked on this project for the past couple of days. One slide of the finger, lost everything. Oh my gosh. So hang on, I'm gonna do this rice. I gotta count. So I did butter, 2 cups of rice, mix with the butter, saute. I don't rinse my rice. If you missed mine from the other night, 2 cups of rice means 4 cups of water. So that's 1. Hang on. Sorry, I was gonna have this prepared for you, but I forgot. 2. And you guys, oh my gosh, I don't even have the pan ready. 3, I'll do it in another pan. Hang on. And 4. While everybody's joining us, we'll get this rice going. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Spencer. Love you, Anna Cummings. Hi, Jen Whitney. Thanks for joining. Hi. Who else? Hi, Elizabeth and Kathy and Barry. Thanks, you guys. I'm so happy you're here to watch my hair flow into the food. If you guys haven't seen my latest Facebook post, I want you all to know we have been quarantined like mofos around here. I'm telling you, it's me and my family. If they get a hair in their food, I'm pretty sure they're gonna survive. But yeah, in a restaurant, it's key. It is key, of course. Oh my God, that would so gross me out, but I'm home. So what the wonk? Did I do 4 cups? I think I did. It looks like I kind of did. I got the lid already out. That's another thing. Make sure your lid, oh, that looked like a dirty lid. Oh, it really looks like a dirty lid. It's not, it's full of fingerprints. I know whose fingerprints those are. A little munchkin. All right. Let me get another pan out, and then we can keep talking as I'm cooking. An even larger cast iron pan than the one that I have been using before. Hi, Erin. Oh, yeah. Sigina, we love some lumpia. I'm making my mom's special lumpia, which is so different than other people's. And boy, oh boy, I was not as prepared for this because for those of you just joining, I got so frustrated. I started this project. I don't know what I was thinking. I had this whole thing set up. I got Miel involved in a movie, and I really worked hard on it. Here we go. I've been talking about how I haven't been having any alcohol, but God bless America if I don't need a beer right now. So I'm gonna have a Stella. I like to try and drink beers that are also made outside of the United States, because if you have beer from America, it has a lot of GMOs in it. So I'm watching. I'm gonna have a beer with you guys tonight. It is 10 to 7. And Bo took Miel out for a little bit. I've had her home with me since Saturday. Holy camole. So a little something that happened today, which was really fascinating. Hi, Lily. Welcome. Hi, Twyla. Hi, Allie. Welcome, you guys. All right. So one of my stepson's buddies, he's like 18, stopped by today. We're like on full quarantine. And I was like, dude, he's like knocking at the door, and Mia's like, oh, Daddy's home. And I was like, that's not Daddy, that's Hunter. So Hunter knows I love him so much, but he's not on Facebook anyway, but I love him. And he stopped by, and I was like, dude, we're on quarantine. He's like, oh, okay. And Bo wasn't here, and there was all this confusion. And he didn't have a car, and his buddy just dropped him off because it's a long story. My husband's working on his truck, and the parts didn't come and all this other stuff. So we have a shed in the back. I go hang out in the back, like go walk around I'm like, are you hungry? He's like, yes. And I made him a big thing of our leftover pasta, the spaghetti sauce that I really didn't want to throw out, but we made it. I was so grateful to get rid of all of it and not waste it and give it to someone that we love. So that was really super perfect. And he hung out in the back. He didn't come in the house or anything. So that worked out all for the best today. But yeah, we got to share and share. Like, you never know who needs a meal. And with that being said, I'm stirring the rice to make sure it's not sticking to the bottom right now. My friend Donald on our last Facebook Live challenged me to an onion bhaji making contest. And I'm going to tell you guys, you're never going to believe this. A friend of ours who works at a restaurant, they were trying to get rid of food because all the restaurants are shutting down. It's kind of a long story. The food was supposed to be picked up. It didn't get picked up. Anyway, it ended up in our home. And you would not believe, 1 million potatoes, and I already have 1 million onions, and he even brought in more onions and a ton of eggs. And I don't put eggs in the onion bhajis, but vegetables, fruit, all this stuff. So maybe because I'm doing all this cooking live with you guys, maybe it's like coming back to me. I don't know, the food is coming back, so that's kind of cool. All right, let's get this party started. So I'm going to heat up this cast iron pan. We talked about how it was seasoned. There was something else I was going to talk to you guys about. Maybe I'll think about it. I kind of thought about it before we started. Anyhow, can't remember. That is, I don't know. You know, you can blame it on many things. BII, old age, brain fart, exhaustion, over computerized stuff. Crisco does an organic coconut oil. Did you guys know that? I didn't trust it at first. I actually had to Google it. I was like, they're lying. But no, it's true. So this was on special at Smith's. So I just am putting in, I don't know, what am I putting in there? Maybe that's like a tablespoon. I'll show you guys. In a pan of coconut oil. There. All right. Let me see. I'm going to let that heat up. And if you recall, oh, this is what I was going to talk to you guys about. You guys know about, like, if you freeze food, you freeze it and then you recook it and you can't refreeze it again. Does anyone else want to give me information? I haven't Googled this. This is like Filipino family information. You can't freeze food and then cook it and then refreeze it. Now, if anyone has a comment, to comment down below and tell me if I'm wrong or if you have another way of talking about this. But that was the way that I was raised. You cannot do that. So what happened was I made that ground beef the other day and it was frozen, right? I split it, I cooked it with onion and I split it in half and I did some for the spaghetti bolognese. It was 2 pounds and I split it. And now I have the other pound of the ground beef with onions that has been in the fridge for a couple days. Once I cook it again, I'm not going to be able to freeze it. So I'm not going to put it in here quite yet. I'm going to cook all the veggies because the meat is already cooked. So great, Michelle. Thank you for commenting. Yes, me too. All right. So where was I? So I normally would be, if you were in a normal situation where I didn't have the meat already made, I would be chopping the onions or putting them in my food processor, sauteing onions, getting them until they're clear, adding the ground beef and getting the ground beef all cooked up. Now, my mother also did it with ground pork. So she would do equal parts ground pork, ground beef. I'm not against pork. I actually love pork. I'm obviously a meat eater, and I know, again, that's controversial, but I actually really like meat. I just am really trying to keep my heart really super healthy and myself really healthy right now, and just trying to keep everything on the DL. And I really love bacon, and I'm probably gonna have bacon this weekend. So I gotta decide, gotta choose my battles, right? So the rice is starting to come to a little bit of a boil, and I'm going to stir it so it's not sticking to the bottom. You can kind of see here, I put the water in already in the butter, and I'm just stirring it and kind of pulling it off the bottom. You don't have to do that, but I do that. My mom would be like, don't ever touch the rice, but you know, sometimes we got to do things our own way. All right, so the pan is heated. So again, remember that normally this would be a pan with beef and onion in it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these. I actually chopped these by hand. I was so frustrated by losing that project. I turned on some music and I listened to like Creedence Clearwater Revival, say that 3 times fast, 5 times fast. And I sliced everything to kind of just calm down and just not take it all personally. We all have a bunch of bigger fish to fry right now, and that is not something we need to worry about. So I did the green beans, and if you look at this, I'm going to move the words over for a minute. You could kind of see the size and what I sliced them to be, and I try to do the carrots sort of in the same size-ish if you can. Don't worry, it's not rocket. Don't worry if you don't. But you kind of want to French cut them. And these are my bowls. I got them at Costco. One of them or 2 of them broke, and which is rather unfortunate. But this is how I size. This is kind of how I know what my family's going to eat. I don't even know I should measure how much this is. But pardon me, I found bowls that really work for us. This is the amount of vegetables that I put in if I want equal parts, and I just kind of go with that. I always put green beans in first because they take the longest to cook. So in the pan goes the green beans. Oh, another thing, you guys, too. Did you know that Mahatma rice is non-GMO? It's a little less expensive than organic rice, and the organic rice was gone. This was literally the only bag left on the shelf. I love jasmine rice, so that's what I'm cooking with. When I'm cooking my rice, I use jasmine. I don't use basmati, I use jasmine. So anyway, it's non-GMO. You kind of see the little label there. And for those of you still using plastic clips, I still have some on my fridge that were actually my mom's. And when she died, we took a bunch of stuff with us. And so I just kind of kept these clips because I know she had them on her fridge. And I have them on mine for that reason, but I try really hard not to buy anymore, and this is already plastic. So clothespins are really great for closing things. And if you have extra rubber bands, you can wrap a rubber band around it too. Boy, I'm just a slob. All right. So the beans are in. I'm going to turn that up. We're going to saute those beans. I am going to put in, I refilled my garlic powder today. Remember we talked about how I refill these with the bulk items. I do not have fresh garlic right now. They were out when I went to the store. So this is a great time to use what I have at home. At this moment, I'm going to use salt, but I do add soy sauce later, or shoyu. And again, we are looking at the beans right now. I'm going to show you when it's time to put the lid on. See how that water has pretty much subsided on the rice? It was boiling on the top. Now it's gone down. It's like a very thin layer. So now I'm going to lower it down, sorry guys, to the lowest point possible. And I'm going to put the lid on it. All right. So now the lid is on that. I lower it down. In a little bit, I actually just shut it off, and so I don't have to worry about it and watch it. And I just leave the lid on it. And that's kind of how, so now my rice is done. So now we're just kind of waiting on these beans. What I'm going to do is real quickly grab some of that bone broth I used the other day. I still have that left. So I'm going to grab bone broth. You guys should, I don't know, I shouldn't say you should. I always have jugs of chicken beef, vegetable. I get the jar of the bouillon. I always have broth. It is such a great, easy way to flavor food. I got to give this a better shake. And it also kind of speeds up cooking. If you turn up the fire and you want to speed up cooking, you can turn it up like really high, and you can add, what would I do? I don't know the amount, but I would cover the bottom of the pan with some broth and get these to cook a little faster. It'll reduce down. And you guys, cast iron pans, they're meant to carry the heat equally across, so they're actually more efficient for cooking as well. So, all right, so I get those beans going partially. What is going on? Oh, there we go. All right. Now, what was I going to do with you guys right now? I was going to talk to you about, while the beans are cooking, these are the greatest garbanzo beans. I love them. I already strained them. When my sister was little, we were walking home from school one day. It was the last day of school. I don't know what the heck happened, but she had like a trash. Oh, I know what we were doing. It was the last day of school. We were cleaning out everything. She had a trash bag, and one of these was left loose inside the trash bag and sliced her leg open. When she walked with it, it like hit her leg, and she sliced her leg open pretty deep on one of these lids. So when I open my cans, I have a tendency to leave the tiniest bit of the lid on. I strain it, and then you kind of have to get in there and pull it out. I often have to use a knife because I don't have any nails right now. And then when I go to throw it away, I leave the lid either attached, or if I accidentally cut it off, then I just put the lid back in the can. And then these are the diced tomatoes that I'm using again, the Merglen. This time, I can't remember. These are the ones, last time I used, I think I had basil, or I can't remember, I used like an Italian seasoning. Sometimes I get the kind with green chili in it, which is really, really good. But I don't want to do too much spice. My kids, they're not like huge fans of spice. They'll eat it, but not if it's like, they don't mind flavor, but they don't like the spice. All right, I'm gonna pull the words back on. Jamie said, same here. Oh yeah, because we were talking about frozen food and being real careful about the healthiness and the cleanliness and all that kind of stuff. Also, God, I was watching, this is Bo and I last night. So funny. We were looking for something to watch. I don't like a lot of the stuff he likes. He doesn't like a lot of the stuff that I like, but every now and again we'll come together on a show. And we were watching like an old show. Jenny McCarthy, I guess, married one of the brothers that were in that boy band. I can't even think of it, if anybody can think of it. Oh my gosh. I can't think of his name right now. I could see his face. They're brothers, you know, and one of them is like more famous than the other, but they have all this chain of restaurants anyway. She is marrying him, and she was talking to her mom and doing these chickens, and she had all this raw chicken on her hands. She's touching her phone or touching her laptop, and she's like walking around, and she just had all this raw chicken on her hands. And I said to Bo, oh my God, she is like, that's crazy. And finally she goes, okay, I'm probably walking around with a bunch of salmonella. I better go wash my hands. And she totally said it. So I was cracking up about that. I was like, okay. Yeah, be careful about washing your hands in between even cooking. Sorry, I got a phone call. Hope you guys are still there. Hi, honey. Hi, Shelly. Thanks for joining. Hi, Jody. My phone's ringing again, and it's Bo calling me. He probably needs something to tell me something important, but that's okay. He knows I'm doing a Facebook Live. All right, so here we go. Can somebody text my husband and tell him I'm doing a Facebook Live? Here are the beans. That juice is starting to settle down. I'm going to tell him to text